بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We're on lesson 3 now. We went through the basics of the alphabet and how the alphabet is divided into heavy and light letters, what they are, what the ruling of the heavy letters are, why Ra is not included, the basic rulings of Ra, and the ruling of pronouncing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. And we said that apart from these ones, the 7 heavy letters, the Ra in certain instances, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in certain instances, every single letter, word, phrase is light, apart from those. So in that way, it becomes easy to just remember those few heavy points of the alphabet with the mindset that the rest of it will be light. Other than those, the rest is light. So moving away from that part, now we go back to the alphabet. Yeah, we went through the alphabet in one branch of focusing on heavy and light. We did that. Now we come back to the alphabet and we look at the alphabet in a different way. So the letters, the pronunciation of a letter, make sure you're following, the pronunciation of any letter is of 2 types. There are 2 different building blocks that both constitutes and allows you to pronounce one letter. So there are 2 elements to a letter. One is, I will write these down, just briefly say it and then write it down. One is the location of the letter. The location of the letter meaning the makhraj. Where does it come from? Where is it in your mouth? Starting from the throat all the way up to the mouth and including the inner nose. Where is it? The location. That's the first part. That's the first element. The second, how does it come out of that location? Which is the sifat, also referred to as characteristics. Yes? So, then we can reiterate that by saying that there are two elements making up the full pronunciation of a letter. So we said, now we're going back to the alphabet, looking at it in a different way. We went through the heavy and light ones. Now we see what the building blocks of a letter is. How is it? What does it mean when we say a letter is pronounced and it's read? And 2 elements are combined to allow a person to pronounce a letter properly, in its right way. And those are, the first one is location. Also referred to as makhraj. Makhraj, location, where the letter can be found. The second one is characteristics or sifat. This word might be long and not understood in its right way, so we can add how it's pronounced. Yeah? The two elements making up the full pronunciation of a letter. The first one is the location. Where does it come from? And the second one is sifat, the characteristics or the characteristic of a letter. Because one letter can have more than one characteristic. Yeah? So, there are 17 locations in total. 17 locations. There are 17 locations. Now, characteristic is a funny one when we try to number it. How many sifat are there? It really depends on how a person is counting. Because the sifat, the characteristic, just briefly, it has opposite sides. So for example, just an example to make it clear. If a sifat says that a letter, pay attention, so a letter, the way it's pronounced is the mouth is closed, for example. Then there would be an opposite sifat saying the other letters are pronounced open. Yes? So one side and then the opposite. Just briefly, we don't need to go into the depth of characteristics. Just to get an idea of why the number would differ. If a person were to count both closed mouth and open mouth as one characteristic, the same with the other ones with one side and opposite, then we have 14. 14 characteristics. If a person, however, decides to count both one side and the opposite as two different characteristics, then we're going to have 20 characteristics. We can write here just simply for 20. Because we're not going to go into depth, it doesn't really matter. As long as we just note that down, that those are the amount of characteristics we have for the letters. These phrases have been properly understood. Yes?
Yes.
Location is where the letter is. It's simple. You don't need to look at this long word and say, oh, I don't get that. One is location, where it is, and how it's pronounced from that location. Yeah, so if I say the location, for example, the makhraj, just an example, the location of a pen, if one wants to buy the pen, I'll say the location of that pen is, for example, office outlet, the shop. The characteristic would be how you choose to get there. You're going to walk it, are you going to drive it, which way you're going to take, how are you going to go, you're going to run, you're going to go fast, you're going to go slow, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's a brief example of what location and characteristics is approximately. Location is where it's found, and characteristic is how it's pronounced from that place. If I say there's a letter from the throat, then okay, that's the location. How is it pronounced now, I say? Is it with an open mouth? Is it with a closed mouth? Is it with the teeth together? Is it with the teeth apart? Is it with the tongue getting together in one place of the mouth? Is it with an open mouth? All that is the characteristic. That's understood, the two phrases? So, the locations, the makhraj, they start from the throat. In any book that you see, the ulama would start from the throat and then go up to the mouth, and then include thereafter the inner nose. Yeah? So we start from, we write start from throat to the, it's not even mouth, we would say to the lips. Plus inner nose. If someone asks, how come this is the case? How come they start, or it's always started from the throat up to the lips and then plus the inner nose? We simply say that this is the preferred way that the ulama chose to describe and explain the location of the makharij. Simple. Doesn't require that much explanation. That's just how it is. If one starts from the lips down, it's not a kaba'ir, it's not haram. Someone starts from the nose and goes back down. But generally, that's what they do. Now, during this course, you'll be happy to know that we're not going to concentrate on nearly any one of the locations or the characteristics. Nearly none of them. So these numbers might have scared you, but we're only going to take the path of one characteristic, which will lead us down to the branch of Qalqalah. Yeah, this is just an overview. Makhraj, the locations, we're not going to get into that. Yeah, the locations, of course, when you're reading, the letters that one struggles with, a teacher who listens would correct and say this is how it's pronounced. But when we say locations, it will include the names and exact areas where the letters are found, which can be a bit difficult starting with, to get all of it in the head, that this is where the letters are. And unless you're familiar with the pronunciation of the letters in the right way as a start, as a fundamental level, you'll not be able to carry on and fully understand, grasp the locations. Even the characteristics, they are harder to grasp than the locations. So that's why these two is not the priority at the moment. They are not the priority. So, with that having been said, we just simply take away the locations, and we'll come to that another time. And we take away this thing, and also we'll take away this thing. Gone, everything gone. Now, characteristics. We're going to go into just one characteristic. One. Yeah? And then thereafter we go down to where we reach the branch of Qalqalah. That's the purpose of this course, because those letters are essential. They are the fundamentals of basic tajweed. That's the other thing. Knowing the details of characteristics and locations doesn't come usually in basic tajweed. Now that can be argued from person to person, but one does not need to know all the words, all the characteristics, all the locations, different names and explanations by heart to read the Quran. Yeah, so that's why we're not focusing on that at the moment. Now, out of the 20 out of the 20 characteristics, we will be focusing on one of the 20. And that is the characteristic known as shadida. Okay. Shadida. Yeah, shadida. Shadida. Yeah, we'll keep as shadida. We'll just write the transliteration. Shadida. Shadida. This is one characteristic of the lattice. Shadida. Okay. Shadida has 10 letters. No, not 10 letters. It has 8 letters. 8 letters. There are 8 letters in shadida. Combined in one phrase, those letters are أجد قطن بكت. أجد قطن بكت. أجد قطن بكت. These are the 8 letters of shadida. What is shadida? What do we mean with these when referring to these 8 letters and shadida? Shadida is when the sound of the letters are cut before they can come out of the mouth. So they're cut and they're not continuous. Yeah? So when we talk about characteristics and we give examples of the letters, we apply the sukoon to them. Why do we apply sukoon? Because the sukoon is going to get out the actual sound of the letter. If we apply fatha, kasra or dhamma, then we add a, e or u sound. So here now, these are the 8. When we give examples of them, they're always going to be with sukoon to get the pure letter out. So, the shadida, when we say all of these with sukoon, they can never be continuous. They don't just carry on endlessly until you're out of breath. That's meant with shadida. So, when we say ad, what's happening? Can you get it out? Ad. It doesn't come out. Because what's happening? The middle of the tongue raises and blocks the sound from getting out. That's what we said before, right? It blocks it before it gets out. Not coming out. The sound is not coming out. Because the tongue goes between the upper teeth and the sound just comes there and it stops. It can't get out. It doesn't come out because the back of the tongue goes up and blocks the sound. Doesn't come out. What's blocking the sound?
Closes the sound.
The lips are closed and the sound can't get out. Ak. What's closing it? The back tongue. Ak. It goes up and it blocks the sound. And can't get up.
Yeah.
Now, going out of these, let's say, for example, fa. I can carry on. Sheen is not here. It goes on and on and on and on. Yes? It carries on, it's continuous because the sound is not stopped, it's not blocked. These 8 letters, the sound is blocked. So we can say for the definition of shadida, the letters that stop the sound from getting out of the mouth because of a blockage, when sukoon is applied. The letters that stop the sound from getting out of the mouth due to a blockage when sukoon is applied to them. Yes. The aim of going through the Shadida letters is to ultimately get to which topic? The Qalqalah. This is where we're headed. We started from the letters and we divided them into location and characteristics. Now we go through one characteristic and we're going down the stream to get to Qalqalah. That's where we want to get. And this allows you to understand why we have Qalqalah in the first place. Where does it come from? Who knows what Qalqalah is? What's a Qalqalah? It's when an echo sound is applied to a letter. When you read, we'll get to that afterwards. When echo sound is applied to a letter because the letter in itself is blocked. And blockage of a letter is shadida that come from the alphabet. So this is the trail that we go through to get to Qalqalah. So everybody understood that. Ajid, Qatin, Bakat. 8 letters. 8 letters. And memorizing this is crucial because afterwards they divide again. And when they divide, both sides of the division, they're going to be studied. And is vital to the correct pronunciation of the letters of the Quran, to be able to read the Quran better, improve the reading. So, everyone understood. Ajid, Qatin, Bakat are the letters that block the sound from getting out. when the sukun is applied to it. No problem rubbing this out, yeah? Now we have Ajid, Qatin, Bakat. And these were the letters of what characteristic? Shadida, which is the blockade of letters. Yeah? You don't need to remember the whole explanation word by word. Just remember the shadid is when the letters are blocked. Yeah, so there's a block in there. There's something in the way. Ajid, Qatin, Bakat is divided into two. So getting from shadida now, this was shadida. Now they divide into two. Now they go two different ways. This side is there are how many letters in total?
8.
8. Now the 8 needs to be divided. In this one, we have the Qalqalah letters. This is where it gets fun. This is Qalqalah. Qalqalah is an echo sound. Extra, we can write in extra sound. Yeah. Extra sound. Applied to the 5 letters of Qalqalah. This is very important, this part. Shadida is not that important compared to Qalqalah. Qalqalah is very important. It occurs in nearly every single ayah in the whole Quran. So it's very, very important. That's why we gave it such a grand entry of going through the alphabet to the Shadida down to the Qalqalah, because it's very important. And a lot of people, they make mistakes, a lot of mistakes in Qalqalah and how Qalqalah is to be pronounced. How you're supposed to approach the Qalqalah. Qalqalah, an echo sound, an extra sound. We would say قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدَ أَحَدَ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدَ صَمَدَ لَمْ يَلِدَ لَمْ يَلِدَ وَلَمْ يُولَدَ. Do you hear the extra sound? وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدًا قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. Do you hear? Those letters, you stop, but then you add another sound to it as well. So it's the echo of the letter, or an extra sound that you put on the letter. Yeah? So, as we said, out of the 8, We get how many in this branch? 5. And those 5 are combined into قطب وجد. One of the most important phrases to learn. قطب وجد. Those are the 5 letters of Qalqalah. Right here, I forgot to mention this part. The 5 letters of Qalqalah, when stopping on them. I forgot that part. When stopping on them. So you don't add an extra sound all the time. You only apply an extra sound or an echo sound when you stop on the letters. Like in the examples I just gave of Surah Al-Ikhlas and Surah Al-Falaq. The ayahs stop. So when you stop on Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Dal is there, and you stop on it. So those are the 2 requirements. You need one of these 5, and you need to stop on it. When those 2 come together, then Qalqalah kicks in. Then you make an extra sound. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. فلق. Yeah? If I say قل هو الله أحد الله, the dal now, has it got Qalqalah?
No.
Why not?
They're not on one.
Yes, because I didn't
Stop.
I didn't stop. That's why it wouldn't have Qalqalah. Yeah? So, we'll come back to examples of the Qalqalah.
Or like in the ruling of Tajweed, are these both right, or you have to stop, It's obligatory, like when you're reading it, like as you said, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Do you have to stop, or you can just...
No, you don't have to stop.
Okay.
You can carry on. Well, it's better to stop. The qaida is, when I went to my own teacher, he was very strict with the ayat.
Okay.
This is an ayah, right? Qul Huwallahu Ahad. That's first ayah. Allah Samad, second ayah. My teacher was very strict with the ayat, and he said, wherever you see an ayah, it is 100% that the Prophet ﷺ stopped there.
Okay.
Yeah? So it's better to stop at every ayah. But you can carry on. It's not haram to carry on. It's better to stop.
Okay.
There are certain ayat, you'll hear ulama, they will encourage you to carry on because of the meaning. But as a general rule, you don't need to get into that part. As a general rule is, you stop at every single ayah. That's khalas. And it's easy to keep that in mind. Every ayah, just stop. It's easier that way. Just stop at every ayah, because you know whenever you see that dot, the round circle with a number in it, Rasulullah stopped there. He has stopped there. So we stop as well. Yeah. Qalqalah, we'll get to the example so we fully understand Qalqalah. Now if 5 letters went there, how many came here? 3. And what are those 3?
Back.
We'll combine them into akat. Akat.
Do they have meaning as well, or we just...
No meaning.
Their meaning.
No meaning. Some of them do. Some of them, these phrases, they might, but these ones, they don't.
These are designed just to
help.
simplify.
To help a person memorize.
Okay.
It would be easier than you saying qaf, ba, qutb wujad, okay, then you know, okay, these 5. Or akat, these 3. Now, these 3, will go into Qalqalah, study Qalqalah, analyze Qalqalah, go through examples of Qalqalah, even have a test of Qalqalah, and then after that we come back to this one. Yeah? So this is just that we get the division here. Akad goes there, Qutbujad goes there. And it started from Ajid Qadim Bakr. Now we leave Akad until not next week, then the week after.
Yes.
Because next week, every 2 weeks, we do the test. So next week, at the end, we'll have the test. We're not finished. With the Qalqalah, we said before, yeah, the first ayah of Al-Ikhlas. Now, when we read this, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Is there a qalqalah there? Yes, because I stopped on this one. And I stopped on the dal, which is one of the letters of qalqalah. Yeah. If I carry on, what's going to happen?
No.
Do I keep the qalqalah?
No.
It goes away. Because keep in mind always, there are always two conditions. Two conditions. One is what? These five.
This one.
One is these five letters. Second one is what?
Stopping.
Stopping. You need to stop. You need to stop. What did we say before about in characteristics, how do we always give examples of letters? What do they have? We said examples given in characteristics.
Give us some sound.
Is it given with a fatha? Is it given with a kasra? Is it given sukoon? Sukoon is given with a sukoon because that brings out the letter. So these letters, when they're brought out from adding your own harakas like fatha, kasra, dhamma, then you have the blockage because they're shadida letters. So that's why the qalqalah is added to them. Yeah, that's why if you carry on, then it doesn't become qalqalah because you now you've held the dal with the dhammatain. So you don't need the qalqalah. You already helped it be pronounced. That's why we have the two requirements. Those five letters stem from these ones, and then stopping. You need for it to stop. Now, if I say, another example, يلقون أقلامهم أيهم يكفرون. أقلامهم أيهم. Where is the qalqalah?
Qaf.
Qaf, yes.
With
Good.
sukoon.
This is a qaf. Now, if I carry on, it becomes qalqalah. What if I stop here? Like this one we said, if we stop, then it is a qalqalah. What if I carry on? Now we said stopping, we said aqlamahu.
I think it still will be qalqalah because it's a complete word.
But if we carry on, we carried on here, and qalqalah went away. So do we have a qalqalah if we carry on here?
Yes.
How? Why?
No, you haven't.
No, because
If you don't have-
no, because qaf has sukoon, so we have to pronounce qalqalah.
Yes. The qaf already has the sukoon. Why did we say we need the stopping here?
To make it
To make it into a sukoon. Here, you already have the sukoon, so you're set to go. You just put the qalqalah there. No matter what happens, you stop here, you carry on, you do anything, qalqalah is there. أقلامهم. أقلامهم. You don't say أقلامهم. You say أقلامهم. Why? Because the sukoon is already there. If I say قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما to the end. Now, if I stop here, do I get the qalqalah?
Yes.
So if I stop, I get the qalqalah.
Make
But if I carry on,
no.
No.
no, but
It doesn't have.
It doesn't have sukoon.
it doesn't have sukoon. So when I carry on, I take away the sukoon from the letters. So the important thing is, it always has to stop, and it has to be these 5 letters. And then we'll go through the examples when we go through when we're reading, and then next week we'll analyze qalqalah more in depth and go into different types of qalqalah. Yeah. So now it's the Shafi'i. صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.